the Sleazy Podcast, the podcast about anything and everything, but mostly TV and movies. And now it's time to get sleazy.
Get a little pecker on your face there, buddy. It's in your eye now. Coming right up on your mouth there. Oh! All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the world-renowned Sleazy Podcast, where we put peckers in people's faces, you know.
Left and right.
What do you think about my little dick laser here? Whoop, whoop, whoop.
We needed it.
Does it show up on the... I don't think it will.
Oh, you're on
There,
the,
yeah.
It shows up.
Gotta get the other side of his face.
There we go.
Get both sides. This is why Sleazy needs to stop taking edibles at 9 o'clock at night.
True.
Buy some random bullshit.
Well, I mean, I saw like a little TikTok video of it.
Of course you did.
Danny
So
McBride. It was like an advertisement, pretty much. It got me.
Of course.
And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. I got to have one. But I didn't just get the one with the dick. Like this has... You got some titties on your nose now? Some titties?
You motorboating son of a bitch.
I was going to say, it's not showing up on you. You got a
Hurt
little,
my eye retinas.
got a little mouth there. It's not going to hurt your retina. That's a crotch there. Little women's crotch.
At least it's a multi-tool,
yeah.
not just cocks.
There's an ass. You got a little ass on your face. And then back to the dick.
Yeah. So gross.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 207. I am your host, Sleazy, one of them anyways. And I've got my right hand number one bestest friend in podcasting, Mr. PBS.
Ow.
Zilla.
Hi.
That was a good intro, wasn't it?
It was.
I just rocked that shit.
You should sound like Bane.
There's a Robzilla.
What a lovely, lovely voice.
What a lovely voice.
What I want to know is why isn't Robzilla in a neck brace?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
From his tell everybody what happened.
Oh, I got in a car wreck. Wasn't our fault though. So
At least this one wasn't your fault. Right?
yeah, the other one wasn't my fault either.
It totally was your
No.
fault.
Motherfucker shouldn't be.
You
driving
didn't
a
yield. You
motorcycle.
didn't yield.
Yeah, motherfucker should be driving without no license.
That makes it okay to turn out in front of him.
You should turn the fucking light on.
He had the light on. You just weren't paying attention.
He had it coming.
I think Rob was just like, because I've been in the car with Rob, and sometimes he doesn't look. He's just like,
Good luck, everyone.
hope nobody's in this next lane.
If not, you're gonna swerve.
So we've got a nice little lineup for this show. We're going to talk about Reacher season 3 to open the show up. Then we're going to go into everybody's newest favorite segment that is just not going to die. It's here to stay, I believe. Zilla's Tubi pick.
It's like Robzilla's insulin. It just won't stay down.
Yep.
No, it won't.
Well, it stays down when TikTok throttles us.
Yeah.
And you even said that, something's going on there. Yep, it is. Then we're going to talk about Daredevil Born Again, right? That's a title, not Reborn.
No,
Born Again.
Born Again. Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to discuss season 7 of Black Mirror. Like, I just finished it last night. I was up till like 1:30 or something like that watching it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to close the show out with Sinners. And what we typically do when we review a big newer movie like that, we're going to give 10 minutes to kind of give a spoiler-free review. And then, we'll tell you if you haven't seen it, it's time for you to hit stop and maybe revisit it after you've seen it. Then we'll discuss all the spoilers and all the fun shit after that. All right. So how was everybody's week before we get into the topics? You had a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
No, just a normal week.
Just a normal week?
Yeah, nothing really going on.
Just a normal week? There was none of...
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
You didn't hear any of that?
Nope. Nobody eating any dogs. A dead pope.
Yeah, we got a dead pope.
Not that
Yeah.
I'm not Catholic or anything, but
He met JD Vance and he was like, enough of this shit. I'm
I
out.
said, "Deuce." What's that? What's the meme? Like the guy gives the deuces and then he just disappears.
Yeah.
I'd rather meet the Grim Reaper than meet JD.
JD Vance came up with that eyeliner and he was just like,
You killed him.
you think the Pope was like, please roll me back to my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen enough. What was it? Was he Italian? Or
No, he was from. Was he from Brazil?
I don't know. Like, obviously, they all have.
He was like the first pope in like 200 years or something From-
Gotcha.
from South America.
How long was
or-
he Pope? I feel like he's been Pope for a minute.
What's it been, Rob? Like 10 years? Pope Francis?
Feels like we're on a.
Pope Francis.
10 minutes,
Yeah.
10 years. What are they?
It feels like we're on a run, man. Since you know, how many popes have we had in our lifetime? I mean, it's been a lot.
2013 to
Yeah, so
the
he's
passing.
he's
Yeah,
been
he's
there a
been
while.
there.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, fucking, I'm tired.
Who was there was the Pope when we were younger, like John Paul II, who was like the greatest ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we had the one guy, Ratzenberger. I forget what his Pope name was.
He was the first. Let me see here.
He's a Jesuit.
You're criminally bad at looking stuff up,
I
by the
know.
way, Rob.
From the Southern Hemisphere. He's the first one in.
I saw where they had their eyes on a couple black
since the 8th
popes.
century outside of Europe. First pope since the 8th century outside of Europe. So.
Okay, all right.
They've always got, they've always got a good handful. It's kind of like
Yeah.
when they pick a Supreme Court justice or something like, yeah, we've got maybe the more liberal one in there, and the more conservative, and the more this and the more that.
Oh my God, there's tons of them. I'm looking at a Wikipedia list of popes.
Well, I mean, and you got the era where there was two popes. I mean,
Yeah, Buenos Aires, Argentina is where he's
Argentina. Yeah.
born.
Like, let's just scroll all the way to the bottom on this
Apparently, he was a bouncer back in the day before he was pope.
before he turned life to the Lord.
That's what kind of popes I like. Bouncers. He's a bouncer for the Lord.
The Pope Benedict before him was Pope from April 19th, 2005 to February 28th, 2013. 7 years, 315 days. It's just like you're so used to seeing the popes die now too. You're like,
yeah.
It's always an old guy.
Like, what if the Pope just decides he doesn't want to be the Pope anymore? Can he step down, or does he have to fulfill that role until he dies?
You give your life to the Lord. You're
I
staying.
guess, yeah, I guess
don't know about
so.
that one.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Pope John Paul II was Pope from 78 to 2005.
Yeah, he was like Pope number one.
Yeah. Then
The
John,
OG.
John Paul I was Pope from August 78 to September of 78. He didn't make it very long at all, did he? He's the one that died, didn't he, of like a heart attack or something like that?
I don't recall, but sounds about right.
A lot of people speculate he was assassinated. There was some things he was going to say that the Catholic Church was okay with, and people were like, nah, we don't want that.
Got to get that Pope mobile.
Mhm.
Right. Then the one before him was Pope from 63 to 78. So 15 years and 46 days. Wow, that's crazy. Man. All right.
I guess I got to get around to watching Conclave finally.
Conclave is decent. It's a good movie.
It's
It's
on Prime
very suspenseful. It was on Prime, Peacock, I think. So yeah, I enjoyed Conclave. I mean, what's his face?
Rafe.
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes. Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
He's excellent in everything.
Yeah.
But the way they work that out, man, it just comes down to the wire and boom, right out of right field. You're like, holy shit.
And then you got to hit that fire.
Gives you a good idea of like what goes on in there. Because I was under the assumption, just from learning about stuff as a kid, I thought they were locked in the room until they came to a decision. But I think they let them go to their quarters, wherever they let them stay, and then they kind of convene the next day or whatever and vote.
Right.
Again.
It's like a negotiation, really.
Yeah. They all fill out little ballots and put them in a box, and then they count them, and then they go and gossip while they're having dinner. And I heard this Pope banged a nun, you know, and you're like, oh, can't be.
That
Can't,
harlot.
can't be. So
Need Pope Zilla.
Mhm.
Pope Zilla, wouldn't that be great to see?
He'll bring peace to the world.
Yeah, that's
One-
how you get fucked.
We need to have a Halloween costume party one year, and Rob just needs to go all out as
Dress
the
him
Pope.
as the Pope.
Come in like a gold cloak, you know, with a big giant ass hat.
I look like a fucking wizard.
Yeah. That's what people would think you were, especially when your beard gets real long. And you'd be like, cast a spell on you.
Some call me Tim.
Do not pass.
Teach Rob all about the papal bulls and all that.
Isn't it an African swallow?
Okay. So Reacher season 3. Thoughts? Complaints? What we got here?
So I liked it better than the second one.
Did you?
Yeah, I felt the second one, of course, the second season, they kind of try to make it like bigger, add in more characters from his unit, Reacher's unit, which is fine.
He didn't do as many like unbelievable things in this one, aside from like swimming across that lake at night and then
that's in the vortex of like
hiking through the woods and meeting somebody and putting on fresh clothes and then running them. I'm like, what? Come on.
With his boots that probably weigh 20 pounds with the water in them at that point.
Yeah.
Well, it's Jack Reacher, so. But I mean, yeah, just like what was the last season where he was holding on to the girl from his unit in a gurney hanging out of an airplane. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah,
like she would automatically get sucked out from
it's fucking
turbulence.
It's fucking great when you're high and you're like, oh, he's doing such awesome shit.
Then you're like,
and then the next day you're thinking about it like, man, that's some really unrealistic shit. Not that I care as long as I'm entertained. But it's a fun show. And I mean, my biggest problem is I don't think they really surround him with the best talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that he's I don't think he's obviously like the best of actors. But he does a good enough job for those types of shows.
Yeah.
But I just wish they had more talent around him. Like,
is that a job interview phone call, Rob?
No, that's probably people like, oh, I heard you were in an accident.
Yeah, you can take that if it's a job interview.
Oh, dude, if you were connected to the Bluetooth, we could put it in right now on the soundboard.
Oh, is this Robert Glenn?
No, English.
No habla inglés, por favor.
When people call me from like those fake numbers, if I'm bored, I'll pick it up and I'll be like, hello? And be like, such and such there. And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
You shut your mouth, get back in your cage. What? Huh?
Hold on, I'm just cutting this arm off right now.
Hold on.
I'll be on in a second.
Onto the bone part. Hold on, it's a little more effort. Hold on.
And then I'm like,
go fuck yourself.
Click. It kills me. I get calls from like the same area code. Like they just keep calling me from that area code and generating a new number, hoping I pick up. It's like, God damn, dude.
I've had 2 people call me back to back. Oh, I'm calling from PNC Bank. I said, let's get something straight here. You ain't fucking calling from there.
Yeah.
You have one, you just call here. So go fuck yourself. You're like, you fuck you. I say, go fuck you. And then like, I'll scream back and forth like a minute until you hung up.
Yep. They're assholes, man.
Yeah, I win.
Okay. So back to Reacher. This season really didn't have anybody like big in it, did it? Like last season we had Robert Patrick, right?
Yeah. Michael C. Hall. No, Anthony. No. Jesus Christ.
He's getting his Michael Halls convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm getting my
confused.
Getting them all confused.
Hold on. I'm going to try to pull up Reacher season 3 cast. So Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh, there we go.
He's not really big though.
Well, I mean, that's the closest. I mean, he's known.
He's a seasoned vet when it comes to the acting, but he's not like a huge name,
No,
like they need a huge name to come in and work with this guy and really get a great story going. But I did enjoy, like, it was different from the normal Reacher tone. Like he was doing undercover work with was it the feds or somebody or the DEA?
DEA.
DEA. I wonder if they're done. DEI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really anybody big, it's your typical people that are in shows. Not very good shows at that, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're fine for what it is, but I'd like to see them up the production a little bit and get some good names in there. Like somebody's got to be willing to play in a season with this,
Yeah.
I mean, Alan Richardson is he's killing it in this role.
Yeah, he is.
So I don't know. Like, if I had to, I didn't like it as much as I like the second one. There's a lot more action in the second one, I thought.
There is.
But this one was more grounded, I guess you could say, as far as like reality and him not doing insanely crazy shit. But I thought it was cool. He had the relationship with the kid, and you know, they had some, you know, he was the anti-bully mentor to a degree. But you know, the whole thing with them like faking it, did they really think they were going to get away with, like, you know, faking that kidnapping at the beginning? And
well, they
like,
did for a bit.
oh, we've got to hide this driver somehow for the next like 5 months or however long that this story takes place.
Right.
And these criminals, do they not realize, like, when a new guy shows up and people start going missing, that
it might be the new guy?
it might be the new guy, right?
The guy who's like 6'4", 280,
right.
special forces and all this shit and whatever he is.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just kind of my complaints. Is it's the same, like, I don't know how you want to call it, but it's the same BS that they, you know, they often
spin and all that.
It's kind of like lazy writing, you know, to a degree, with the bad guys just overlooking certain things.
Yeah.
And I will say this, they did have the one guy that was skeptical of him the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see Jack Reacher have a foe that was bigger than him.
Yeah.
Right.
And probably, do you say a little more badass? I mean, he did get the best of him on multiple occasions.
Slap the shit out of him.
Yeah. He's like, I wasn't expecting that. Guys that big should be slower. He's got speed.
What's your thoughts, PBS? I've just kind of started going there and got past you.
God, I hate to say it. I'm with Robzilla on this one. I like this better than season 2.
Okay.
Because my problem with season 2 is, like, you know, Reacher's already like the biggest, smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
And then in season 2, you're kind of setting him up with his old team to find out everything. And they're kind of like, obviously not as big or bad, but he's with his team. And I kind of didn't like that. So I like the idea that he's back like the first season, where he's kind of on enemy territory for most of the show. And he's like, he can call for help, but for a lot of it, he's kind of on his own to get himself in and out of these situations. That's what I really liked about the first season.
Yeah, this was really cool that, you know, he was on his own. And to me, the first season is still the best.
Yeah.
And like we said, we really kind of shit on the finale of last season with it's got a little too much.
Yeah.
And like even this season, it's got like funny things. Like, wouldn't you expect criminals to have more security cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think Hot Sauce has more security cameras than these guys have.
Right.
That's
And
true.
the fact that they have this guy has this huge property and everybody's just roaming around doing whatever the fuck they want.
Richard's
Like,
just climbing out the window anytime he feels
going
like it.
going for late night. Did he ever sleep in this season?
It didn't seem like it for the first couple of
It
episodes.
seemed like he would lay down. All of a sudden, he gets a call and he has to get up. So he's like, he lay down for 10 seconds.
He's like,
maybe.
he's like Major Payne. He sleeps with his eyes
Right.
open or whatever.
He probably does.
But, yeah, it was so silly, like him like sneaking out of the house like he's some teenager or something. Right. But I thought it was cool. He had a little cell phone in his boot.
Yeah.
And then like later on, like spoiler alert here, you find out the nurse has one too, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or not the nurse, the maid.
Yeah, maid.
The maid. Yeah.
You know, I like the little setup of like they kidnap the kid to get into to Anthony Michael Hall because they need to get in and see what he's doing.
Right.
And the other bad guy that Reacher's chasing because he dealt with his
Xavier Quinn.
because he went after Cole when he was in the 110 specials.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was really kind of into that more than season 2.
Can you feel that dick on your face?
No.
Right on your nose.
And so, like I said, I was really into this one. I didn't dislike season 2 particularly either, but season 3 kind of brought me back to what I really kind of want out of Reacher. I want him kind of on his own. I like the idea that he can call in like Neely and kind of she'll come in and help bail him out a little bit. I did read that they're thinking of doing a spinoff with her. She's probably gonna get her own show, and I think they've already confirmed season 4.
It's been a couple of weeks since I've watched all this, so I'm forgetting a little bit of it. Did Reacher get to bang a chick in this one?
Of course he does.
Yeah, he bangs the one chick, right?
Yeah.
But man, that's what I'm saying. He's got all the time in the world to run around and.
But when that ass calls, it's that time.
It's a very emotionally charged situation.
It's like, fuck the mission. I got to bang this hottie real quick.
I might be dead here in like 20 minutes. Might as well get a piece in real quick.
If that kid gets murdered, it's no big deal. She's more important right now.
Well, there's a certain scene too. Like you kind of see more Reacher's emotion in season 2 because it's his team.
Yeah.
And there's another scene too where he kind of almost breaks and you can see him kind of break. I'm like, I did like seeing that because, he's cool, calm, badass, comments all the time. And then to see that moment too, you're like, makes you feel like he still has that human side. And it's just like, man, this dude's pissed. And it's just,
yeah, definitely. Man. So I think it's a must watch if you are a Reacher fan and you haven't watched season 3 yet. Of course, we spoiled a bunch of things for you, but if you haven't watched it by now, you probably aren't going to watch it unless you really, really take our opinion from it.
Yeah.
But let us know. Did you think it was the best season yet? Maybe just in the middle. Was it better than season 2, but not 1? You let us know. But I don't know. For some reason, I just wanted a little bit more action from it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. So, but I don't know. I really, as silly as that second season was, I enjoyed the action they gave us. So I was kind of hoping to see more action.
Yeah, I think there's like a certain kill scene near the end. I'm like, didn't see it coming. I'm like, oh shit. Well,
yeah.
She really know your firearms, I guess.
I just like listening to Sonia Cassidy, who is the DEA agent, Susan Duffy, with her Boston accent, say "bizarre, bizarre."
Bizarre, bizarre. Yeah. So it's good. It was good.
Yeah, definitely. I had fun with it. I kind of I binged. Usually, I don't try to binge TV shows because I was behind on this one. I watched it all in 2 or 3 days.
Oh, nice.
And I was really into it. Good.
Yeah, I started watching it, and then we got into sleazy season, and I just was so caught up in watching movies, and I just kind of got lost from it, and I had to go back and finish. I had half of it left. And that could be why I didn't enjoy it as much, is because I took a break from it and kind of came back in. And
dude, there's just so much stuff to keep up with.
Yeah, there really is.
Man.
I'm already behind on shows for the year right now because like 4 or 5 of them just dropped a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
but it's insane, dude. I mean, you do what you can.
Yeah, let's try and make the homework. At least you can focus on something, so it's a little bit easier. But
I forgot about is it the final season of Lincoln Lawyer that was out, season 3?
I never watched any of that.
No, there's another season coming.
Is there another season coming? Oh, good, because I love Lincoln Lawyer. Like,
I've heard it's good from what you guys explained.
That's kind of like my dinner show right now, and this season's like really amped up, and I'm like, oh man,
it was a good one.
Yeah, I've got like half of that to finish. So, but I really want to finish watching it. But Sunday nights is like HBO Max time.
Well, I mean, you got Last of Us, and then you got
The Righteous Gemstones,
which is 2 episodes left.
And before The Last of Us, it was White Lotus season 3. So I mean, that's like 2 hours of my evening right there. And then if we podcast or whatever, like I'm pretty much doing this and then getting dinner afterwards. And then when I come back, it's time for all that.
Yeah.
So I'll make time for everything eventually. But and then through the week, forget about it now that baseball started.
Yeah.
Like ballpark Wednesday and Friday, and then
homework.
Homework from whenever I can fit it in on the off days of that.
Cocaine.
So, yeah. I'm on the computer like 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I, sometimes when I get done with homework, I just want to chill. Like I just want to watch a movie, something like comforting, I saw an article where they said watching the same movies over and over is comforting to your neurological system.
More like comforting for your soul.
Now we know why Mr. PBS watches those same 1930 movies.
That explains it perfectly.
Over and over.
And over again.
That's why I always love watching Halloween, Return of Michael Myers, number 4. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Always will be.
It's a good movie. I love it. All right. So now it is time for...
Zilla's Tubi pick of the week. Each week we pick the best from Tubi's vast selection. This time it's
you like this?
Of course.
It's good.
I watched a film so bad it made my eyes go wide. With every line they said, I
me a
couldn't
cocktail
help
cigar.
but hide. So sit back and enjoy the worst movie of the bunch. You'll laugh at how bad it is. It's Tubi's to the dark. It was a love story gone wrong. The plot was just.
You want to keep listening to it?
No, we can stop now.
Okay.
We get the point.
The acting
It's like
was
2 minutes
so
long, I
Oh,
think.
that's yeah. So
Or like a minute something long
Yeah.
or something.
Make it faster. Make it like some kind of like shitty ass rap song.
Yeah. I'll have to like find one that's cheaper. You know, there's AI things that generate the songs. And
Yeah.
there was one where you could type in all the lyrics that you wanted it to say and it would just compose it. But
That's entertaining.
it got it done in like a minute. I was surprised. Figured it'd be like, I'll email you back in like 2 hours. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So Tubi pick of the week. What's it gonna be, Zilla?
Oh, let me go back here. So I always do an honorable mention. So
Shut up. Let's do your honorable mention last. So what's the one we need to be looking out for?
okay, so the first one, what I picked, let me get back to the synopsis here. Okay. So shout out to a content creator by name of Ivan Van Gool, who does a lot of Tubi stuff and Tubi
Ivan
picks.
Van Gool.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Are you
his
just
one,
stealing other people's picks?
No. This is what he recommends that's on Tubi. So then that's on my
Yeah, you're stealing content.
Well, thank you, Ivan Van Gool, for the suggestion.
Okay,
I'm
so
excited to
you've
watch it.
used
There we
it
go.
for your Tubi pick of
Yeah,
the week. You're supposed to be
watched
the
it.
guy that's finding stuff and not
Okay,
relying
then.
on other people.
Supposed to be the trendsetter.
Yes.
Supposed to be digging through Tubi.
With my short arms, I
You-
appreciate
yeah,
at least
you're
you get the
supposed to
short
you're
arms.
supposed to spend more time digging through Tubi than you're actually going to spend watching the movie.
So
okay.
which one are we going for here first?
Saturday Morning Massacre.
This is your
Tubi pick for the week.
okay.
So
Hold on, let me get this up. Let me get this up. Oh no. Where's my arrow at? It's not showing. Okay, there we go. All right. Saturday Morning Massacre from 2012. A dark and bloody parody about a Scooby-Doo like team of paranormal investigators and their devoted dog.
it's a straight rip off of Scooby Doo.
Sounds like it.
It is, and it's actually the premise of it is not bad if you're trying to make it into like a serious movie.
Yeah.
But it just falls short because the acting is garbage.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's got an average ranking of 2.7.
Well, I give it 1.5 because there's a couple funny parts I laughed my ass off. And then I like the concept of it, that you can kind of make a serious Scooby-Doo like film. But I mean, they do like a lot of references. Like they say, you guys act like this is a Saturday morning cartoon show. They throw in references to Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think it's just the concept of you can possibly do a Scooby-Doo movie or investigation paranormal that's not as shitty. But of course, the dog's not talking in this. They do have a dog, but they do like a reference of a person sounding like Scooby-Doo because they're possessed or something. But it's not good, but I like the concept of it. So I suggest to watch it and check it out at least.
Tim McClellan writes, a movie that asks the question, what would happen if Scoob and the gang ran into something real and horrific? This movie is pretty funny, and then it's pretty violent and gory. The first hour had me laughing and enjoying the journey well enough. The last half hour becomes a bit of a bloodbath, and the most humor takes a backseat at that point. It was still fun to watch, though. This movie is definitely flawed and far from perfect, and anyone who enjoys horror comedy can find something to like with this film. It's a good premise. It knows how to have fun with it, and by the end, you'll see plenty of blood and guts.
If only we could get Robzilla to write a letterbox review.
Right. I have to work
Just
on that.
one.
Is there no I don't see a trailer. Do you see a trailer?
I don't think there is one.
There isn't one.
I'm sorry.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy, I know.
That's true Tubi pick style for Robzilla.
No trailer.
Yeah. Well, good for you, Rob. Good for
Yeah.
you. Okay, so what did you give it?
I give it 1.5 because I like the concept, and there is a couple funny parts, and there's a bloody and gory scene, which is you don't expect it. And it's just hilarious.
Don't expect it. Huh?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the trailer here. Let me
Oh, you're sending it to us?
throw it in the old group chat.
I guarantee you the trailer's better than the movie.
Is it better than
if,
the
if
movie?
it has to be? Well, just like the
That's weird. Normally there's a trailer.
Yeah, attached
you know.
to it. It's like Ouija Shark. Like that movie is horrible, but man, that trailer makes it funny.
Old Kaiser Place, let's talk about it. There's been a history of some reported satanic activity.
That
We
comment's
don't
hilarious,
need
too.
a motel. We stay the night, is what we do.
Yeah, I really don't think they've told you all enough about the place.
What do you think this is? Some Saturday morning cartoon show?
Oh, that Scooby laugh.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
This place is totally fucking haunted.
Kids are always breaking in here. Their Ouija boards, doing little ceremonies.
Do you know what kind of occult practices they're using?
Sticks on the floor, I guess.
That's why I laughed at.
You know what happens to real detectives? They get killed.
Do they? Oh man. Well, I saw.
When I started drinking warm water to help me lose weight,
You don't care, lady. There's always some fat on like YouTube, like do this. and
Make sure
can-
you use Baja Gold Sea Salt. It has
Yeah.
81 trace minerals. Get fucked, doctor.
This whale sperm will help you lose weight. Rub it all over your body.
Thanks, Bobby.
Okay, so it looks interesting. I gotta say.
Like there's certain part like he's what kind of rituals? Ones with sticks on the floor. I mean, that's just like that's funny.
All right,
Is
so
it, Rob? Is it funny?
Yeah.
and this one right here is your
Tubi pick of the week.
no, it's your honorable mention.
Oh yeah, Here for Blood. That's one on it. So this one's just
Ooh boy,
this one's funny.
this one looks funny.
It is. Let me get back to it. Synopsis here.
I'll let you read it this time.
A rowdy pro wrestler struggling to make ends meet agrees to fill in as a last-minute replacement for his girlfriend's well-paying babysitting job. Upon arriving at the scheduled family home, he meets the
At the scheduled
precarious-
secluded family home.
Sorry. Secluded family home, he meets the precarious 10-year-old Grace. What starts off as a quiet night of pizza and video games quickly spirals into bloody, violent chaos as Tom and Grace find themselves fighting for their lives when an otherworldly cult of mass intruders descend on the home.
Oh shit! It's got an average ranking of 3.2.
Pro wrestler turned babysitter. So I've seen Hulk Hogan in the
Yeah,
nanny.
Suburban Commando.
Right. 2 stars from you, huh?
Yeah.
So I mean,
The blood and gore is funny. There's funny moments with the kid and the pro wrestler. There's a scene the pro wrestler gets stabbed in the foot. It's so fucking funny. It's just like
okay.
it just sees this the way he's trying to treat the wound. It's hilarious.
All right, let's pop this trailer up. Oh,
I need you to babysit for me.
You need to do what?
He's down!
Come on, Phoebe. I don't know how to take care of children.
all he has to do is just keep the kid alive for a couple of hours. It's really not that hard.
Don't kill him.
I'm not gonna kill him. I'm just gonna bash him.
How do you want to do this?
Fist fight.
Oh, all right.
This babysitter is really pissing me off.
This babysitter's really pissing me off. That looks interesting. I kind of want to watch it. It feels like an Alan Richardson movie.
Yeah.
So
it's like if they want to upgrade the movie, they should have just got him.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, it'd been in like theaters for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Special screening.
Well, I mean, it looks like an Amazon Prime type movie, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right. Another good collection of movies that Zilla has recommended to you in the Zilla Tubi pick of the week.
That someone has recommended to Zilla.
Yeah.
He's purloined it, sold to you.
Hey,
Thank you, sir. Hey, at least I'm shout out and I appreciate the
at least
suggestion.
at least you're citing your citations here.
Yeah. My references.
Yeah.
His Tubi community.
Yeah. We're going by the numbers, sir.
So I was watching this guy, and he said to watch this movie. So you watch it.
I checked it out and I liked it.
You know,
The fire.
I look for other people for inspiration too. Sometimes, you know, like we jumped on the list thing that was going around YouTube there for a while, but a little bit different, you know, than just taking somebody's content. That's hopping on the trend per se.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You did it though.
Yeah.
But next we're gonna start seeing Chat GPT. Can you pick my Tubi pick of the week? All right.
Fuck Skynet. I ain't asking you for nothing.
So we're gonna talk about Daredevil Reborn or Born Again real quick. Thoughts? I mean, I really dug it, man. It was good.
Yeah, I really dug it as well.
It was well worth the. How many years did we have to wait for this? I mean, it's been a long time.
Well, and I guess there was an interview. I guess when they had to do reshoots, when there was like they had like 6-7 episodes. I guess like the tone of it was like She-Hulk and real cheesy.
I heard it was like
they fucking hated it. Like it was
jokes
bad.
galore.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, I'm like that's not Daredevil.
Kevin Feige had to step in and be like, nah.
Listen here, you're already fucking up Blade here. You're not gonna fuck up Daredevil.
By the way, before we get started in this, I got IMDb up and look what popped up here on the first screen here. How shitty does that Predator look?
I'll still see it, but
I don't really need to see the Predator's face. Do you? Like, can we just get a mask on him?
What this is what it's stating is that it's a young Predator. It's not a proven
Who
Predator.
cares?
I know, but that's what a lot
Give
of
him
people
give him some shitty mask, not a you know, the big helmet or whatever.
I think he ends up in the trailer. Looks like he grabs and picks one up, but I think he probably gets knocked off somewhere. Of course, like all the Predator movies.
Okay. But yeah, I really dug Daredevil, man. It was good. And I like that they keep people in. And I know people were upset they killed Foggy off in the first episode there. But you know, there is a storyline in there where Foggy kind of comes back from the dead, or he wasn't dead.
Yeah, I guess the one comic book where Vanessa sets up with Bullseye to fake kill Foggy. I don't know reason why for that in the comic book. I know something with a client maybe or something that he was going to win or something like that. But then he ends up coming back. But usually with characters like that who've been established, I don't care if they die. I don't like the first episode, you know. But I understand when you say Born Again because he kind of loses his will to be Daredevil.
Yeah,
there's a reason why he has to come back to become Daredevil. So I get it, but still, I'm like, can maybe second, third episode at least, you know, get some time in with character we haven't seen in years because of all the reshoots and everything.
You know, I had a problem with the way they kind of make Fisk a little slow at times, like not necessarily
on the
slow
spectrum.
Yeah, he definitely seems like he's on the spectrum, but I really loved it that, you know, by the halfway through the show or whatever, I mean, he gets back into being old Fisk pretty quick. And you know, he becomes mayor in this season, and it's a totally different, you know, parameter of things that's going on. And Matt realizes that he really, you know, he's got to be Daredevil to fight back against what he's up against. And boy, did they leave us hanging on that finale.
Yeah.
I mean, they left us hanging
big time.
I
mean, they're already, I'm not sure how far, but it seems like they're pretty far with season 2 already being shot. They've already had, you know.
And my one complaint was there wasn't enough Punisher in this season. Like
But
they teased us like in episode 4 or something like that, and then he doesn't come back until the last episode.
but what we get is
Oh
quality.
yeah, it's
so
that's the way the Punisher needed to
yeah,
be.
so it's a double-edged sword. We love the Punisher. We want more Punisher, but what we got of Punisher
He was
Limited,
brutal, dude.
fantastic.
I love that they kept the brutal
Ofness
darkness of this, Daredevil, and then they upped it a notch. Really,
yeah.
I mean, there's a scene at the last episode where Fisk, just manhandles somebody, and you're like, holy shit.
Put it this way, I'm shocked that Marvel showed this for this.
I'm
even
shocked
for
that
this.
it's on
Yeah.
Disney Plus and not like they didn't put it
Netflix.
on. Well, not necessarily Netflix, but Hulu, just Hulu.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess they have things where, the parental thing where you can set it up where the kids can't watch something if it's over PG-13 or whatever. So, but I mean, how many people really do that? Their kids are sneaking in there seeing.
But say, you know what? I give you permission. It's a comic.
Seeing Fisk rip people's heads off and stuff.
Jesus Christ, dude. Well, I wouldn't say, I take that back, for him being on the spectrum. He's more like socially awkward and kind of like weird. That's more of a better way to describe him.
If we had to pin it down to something, it would be because he's autistic. Because he's on the spectrum on some level, some spectrum. But yeah, John Barenthal, he killed it as the Punisher once again, and we're getting a Punisher series again, right?
I think so.
God, I hope they make it brutal like that.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, but man, what about that armor he had on in that last?
That's the same.
My guy.
He reached out to Robert Pattinson from the Batman.
Right.
Where did you get your body armor?
They shoot the Punisher like 8 times with shotguns.
Point blank.
Yeah.
Chest. Barrels here.
Well, in the back.
In the back and the chest.
And I mean, he just keeps walking. And eventually, they get him down on the ground. Yeah, what is up with that when they make him scream like that? They make Frank Castle scream like he's a silverback gorilla or something. He's like, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I guess he's tapping into that rage.
Yeah.
But man, there is a scene in this where Daredevil's fighting with this guy, and he like flips him over into this. It's like an underpass or something, right? Or an overpass, and his leg is like out, but he's leaned up against like a curb, and Daredevil just like
he does a somersault and just does
he like does this flip, and he just stomps on this dude's shin, and you just see the leg just go. You're like, oh my god, he just fucking massacred that dude's leg. Yeah, that dude's gonna have to get that leg cut off. There's no way they're able to salvage that.
Daredevil may not kill people, but he'll cripple you.
Right. And then there's a scene where cops get him in this apartment, and he fucking spikes this dude's head off the floor. Like, I mean, literally, that would snap somebody's neck. The way he bulldogged him into the floor.
I messed up. Like, there's no fucking way this cop's alive. There's no way.
And then, like, the next episode, they have the cop testifying in the court case he's on.
No neck brace.
Yeah, no neck brace, but he's all fucked up, and not one of them say a word because nobody can admit they got their ass beat to the blind lawyer.
He don't even have a fucking halo to keep his head still. I mean, he would have to wear one of those, hands down.
There's no way he wouldn't have a neck brace on.
Right.
Like, he would have been in the ER. Like, all those guys would have been.
Yeah.
But, the action just seemed like it was up. They upped the action a little bit for this series. I mean, they put a lot of money into it.
Yeah. It wasn't there. So I think a lot of people were upset because there's not as much as the past seasons, but I'm fine with that because you really get to see Matt Murdock's character as a lawyer, what he deals with. So that's fine with me.
Definitely.
And I think you can even have a show just him doing that mainly, and that's still fine by me. But
Daredevil is a coxman, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He's banging all the hotties, dude.
Yeah.
Apparently
you just get all the shit when you're blind.
Right.
And just talk smart.
How many did he have in this season? A couple? Or was it just the one?
Just the one. It was just the one.
But there was some vibes with Karen too.
There's always vibes with
every season though. He's rocking some hottie though.
Yeah, always. Always.
I kind of hope they bring back like Elektra, and I'd really love to see the Defenders get back together. I don't think we're gonna get it, but God, that'd be so cool, wouldn't it? I like the Defenders.
I like the
season.
Defenders. We even talked about that a long time ago. It was basically Daredevil, season 2.5 because it leads into Reborn.
Yeah.
So I like the Defenders, but I think I just prefer more of just Daredevil. But
give me another.
Daredevil.
I want something that leads up to Defenders, and fucking throw Punisher in there too.
I just think it's just I don't know how they're going to do with Jessica Jones and how bad Iron Fist ended up being at the end of like the second season. How bad that was.
Yeah, that whole. I mean, but people
Yeah.
were excited for that ending.
Yeah.
So I never had an issue with Iron Fist. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're whitewashing the role." Like, well, wasn't he always white? I mean, but I don't know.
That's
I
not
like
my Iron Fist.
Yeah, I would love to see Jessica Jones come back and Luke Cage. I mean, Luke Cage, the guy that plays Luke Cage, is so great, man. I forget his name here. Hold on.
Is it David Coulter or something?
Yeah, it's something like we just talked about him on the last show.
On Evil, because he's the main character.
Well, and he was in that movie Plane,
right,
with Gerard Butler. Let's see here. Put this up on the screen so people can say. Yeah, so Luke Cage, Mike Coulter. Mike Coulter. He's a great actor, man.
He's really good.
I hope he gets his day where he gets to reprise that role, because he was a good Luke Cage.
And I think the reason why a lot of stuff with Luke Cage was, I think the villains, because they're very hokey and comic booky, and how they made him look. They didn't really make him look like normal. They had to dress him up and look like, shitty.
Well, he wore a Carhartt hoodie.
No, I'm talking about the first one he had, and the first one at the very end.
What are you talking about?
The villain he had to face. Sidewinder or something like that.
And Luke Cage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just, whatever.
Well, they kind of lost their way in the Luke Cage season.
Yeah, well, I think the reason why I got pissed, because like he was a boxer in the army, but like he couldn't throw a fucking jab or do anything like kind of like combative. He just like pushed people and shit.
Next, Rob's gonna be like, "Well, the physics just isn't right. There's no way Luke Cage could have jumped off that roof.
There's no way. There's no way."
Yeah, man. I really, man, I'm so excited for. I need more Daredevil in my life. Like now that it was on Tuesday nights, right?
It was Tuesdays.
Tuesdays at 9.
Oh, because I would end up watching Wednesday morning. So
yeah, I'd watch it Tuesday night, right at 9:15. And man, I'm just like, I'm not so much sad, but I'm sad that Daredevil isn't on anymore. But now I'm watching the one show with Seth Rogen on Tuesday nights.
The Studio or
the Studio. Oh,
I heard that's good from what you said.
It's great, guy. You guys got to get an Apple.
That's Apple TV.
Yeah, you got to get Apple TV and watch it. I mean, I think that'll rival like Ted Lasso when it's all said and done.
On comedy.
Like, yeah, it's that good.
Okay.
I mean, that might be like some of the best work Seth Rogen's done in a good decade, at least.
Right.
Since super bad or whatever.
Super bad.
2 decades there, but man, it's crazy to think Superbad's that old now.
Superbad, Pineapple Express.
Yeah, all those movies are old.
Yeah,
they're like what we thought of the 80s movies.
Yeah,
that's what kids probably think of them now. But man, that's crazy. But yeah, fucking Daredevil rock, dude.
And plus, you have to wait for episode 4.
Yeah, but everybody's so good in those roles. I mean, I still maintain that those roles were perfectly casted.
They are,
and I'm glad that they, there was enough love and respect and admiration for those, the actors that play that they were like, hey, let's get the band back together and let's give the fans the closure or set of ending seasons that they deserve. So
and I feel like they knew they had something special with this. And plus, you actually met Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
And you said they're really nice.
Super, super cool, down to earth guys. Like Charlie Cox, when he signed my poster, he was like, "Do you want the DD on there?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!"
Yeah, dude.
He was like, "What color do you want?" And originally, I wanted, I forget if I wanted gold or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, silver will pop off this." He was like, "I've signed a couple, and they didn't come out real good with gold. Let's go silver." And I was like, "Let's do it, dude."
And he hooked you up, properly.
Yeah. So I mean, he could have just been a dick and signed it. Like, that's what you want. That's what you want. But he made a suggestion and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, dude, that sounds good. Let's go with it. But yes, Daredevil season, what was this, 5? Because we got 4 off Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great season, man. I don't know if it's the best one out of all of them, but this was pretty damn good.
To me, in my opinion, I feel this is the best Marvel show from Disney's produced and out.
The first season of Daredevil and the second season were really great,
back to back.
Because the second season is the one with Punisher, right?
Punisher brings in,
I mean, that fight in the prison. We didn't really get like a massive all out fight like we did in the past, I don't even, was there like a hallway scene fight in this one? Normally that's like their thing.
Well, it was a staircase. In
Staircase,
season
yeah.
2, because he
We
had
got it at the beginning of this one.
yeah
The very first episode they gave
With
it, and then
him
they
and
kind of
Bullseye.
shied away from that.
Yeah, but
So
man, well, even like the staircase one, he had a revolver duct taped to his hand and a chain on one.
yeah,
He's like, I don't kill people, but yeah, you wrapped a chain around that dude's neck and threw him down 40 like 4 flights of stairs. He's dead.
he's certainly brain dead after that. Do you think that the main villain is dead? Muse?
So
I got this feeling that he's not dead. That was the wrong guy.
So I did see a couple of TikToks explaining why they think he's not.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling confident with that. It's just he's such a good villain for Daredevil. I don't understand why to have him show up like 2, maybe 3 episodes, and all of a sudden you're going to kill him off.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are suspecting since now they just brought on Matthew Lillard as a character for Daredevil. So people are thinking hopefully
for season 6.
Yes, that hopefully he'll be Muse. So
Which, I mean, it just seemed kind of the way they did it. He's in one episode, then gone the next.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious to see like this all play in, and Bullseye and a couple other mofos get in there, and then the Punisher's out. Like, I'm ready to see the mayhem unfold next season.
I love seeing Bullseye. Just that man is ruthless.
I love that Kingpin put his wife in check too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole like season, his wife's kind of been running things since he's been away, and she's not fond of him being back, obviously, because things are running smooth with her. And there's a point where she tries to have him assassinated, and his bodyguard just lets the guy get up real close to him while he's eating dinner. Bam, pops him. And he's like, "Would you call my wife and ask her if she wants me to bring her something home?"
Yeah, he says some fancy dish, but it's so.
Yeah.
And the guy was walking up to him, but the guy is like hidden, like it's dark.
Yeah,
so he's like
in
in
the
the
shadows.
curtain. He's like, "Thank you, Buck."
Yeah,
He's
and
like,
I
he's
mean,
into Wesley.
the whole time he's still like cutting his pasta up and eating it, and he's salivating the food, and he's just like, "Can you call my wife for me?"
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
man,
it's such a power badass move, like him just sitting there. Like, that's what you expect from the Kingpin.
Well, even there is, I think it's the second episode, maybe. There's an interaction with Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, which is phenomenal in my opinion, because he's kind of like, I'm kind of liking how things are, but I don't want to have to go back to the way they are if you want to fuck around.
Right,
it's that tone, but it's a mutual respect. So
mutual respect. You've been slurring your words here lately.
I got the vodka in this.
Yeah,
excuse me.
You showing up here drunk is.
Could you imagine if you were the Kingpin and Robzilla was your bodyguard?
Oh yeah, he'd be fired.
You'd be dead.
I would say you wouldn't fire me, you'd be dead already.
Sorry, Sleazy.
That guy would have came in and accidentally shot Fisk in the face. I'm
Let
like, oh
another
shit.
one. I let another one through.
Yeah, but man, if you were a comic book fan and you're not watched Daredevil, I know a handful of people that haven't watched Daredevil, but they love comic book stuff. And I'm like, this is some of the best comic book production that you're going to see. Like, I mean, it's not like there's not flashy CGI in it or anything like that, but it is a great show.
Yeah.
It is a great show.
Well, honestly, and I've said this to you before, when we initially watched the very first season of Daredevil, I didn't really want to watch it because how awful the Daredevil movie was. And I feel like that's might be a lot of people's issue, is this like, it's probably going to suck like the movie. Why even watch it? But far from it.
No, it's an excellent show. Like, I mean, if we were to give a letterbox score for this season, I would go 4.5.
That's
And I mean, mainly, if Punisher was in it more, it'd be a 5.
Yeah.
If there was a lot more carnage. I mean, this one has a lot more dialogue and story in it than past other Daredevils, I guess you could say. But they all ended on some, like, every episode kind of ended with action. And so, I mean, it was a great watch, and well worth the wait that we've had to wait for how many years? 5 or 7 years. I mean, it's just crazy. I feel like it was just yesterday when they announced what's his face is the Punisher, John Barenthal. Like, and now we're just like to a point where it's like, like, can we get you to play the role again? Like, man, it just doesn't feel like time's just moving so quick.
Yeah.
So quick. All right. So moving on, maybe we can get PBS back in this, since he's a fucking bum and he can't watch Daredevil. Like, what we got to do to get you to watch Daredevil, man?
Make it black and white.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just don't want to get Disney Plus.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, sometimes
not-
that's fair.
It's not fair.
I'm looking
Well,
to
you can
get
do
rid
the-
of streaming services, not ads.
Just pay for it for a month. Think of it as like going
Or if
to
you
the.
do like the package, you can at least get Hulu or whatever,
yeah.
or whatever they're doing.
You got Hulu, don't you?
No.
You don't
Well, I
have
mean, there you
Hulu?
go.
But I mean, Disney Plus is Hulu now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you could like the.
you can watch all the Hulu stuff on there
Yeah.
with it. I mean,
Mhm.
they've got an ad tier and then a non-ad package. But yeah, man, you got to watch it so you can come on here and be like, you guys were so right. You were so fucking right.
You know, ain't gonna happen. He's like, that was beneath me.
Yes.
That's
beneath me.
trash.
You and your comic book shows.
I can't
trash
believe
TV to
I've
me.
been watching the same crappy shit all these years
Why
and
don't-
avoiding
why don't
Daredevil.
you watch something based on some literature?
I mean, technically, that is some fine literature.
That's kid shit.
Kid
I'm just-
shit.
All right.
That's the kind of a book Robzilla could read.
Yeah.
We're gonna, dude. Some of those, I got that big ass X-Men comic series up front, and I still haven't. I need to read it, but comic books, like now that I'm an adult and the bubbles and moving back and forth, like I just want to read something all the way down. Like I kind of, because then I'm like get lost in the pictures, and I'm like, oh, that's some fine work there they're doing on Rogue's titties.
I don't want to read and play Where's Waldo with my comic books.
Yeah, I like, not that I don't enjoy reading them. I really do. There's great storytelling in them. But yeah, like when I read, I want to just keep reading, So it's kind of I don't know. It's not that it's annoying or a struggle. It's just I want to speed read, I guess you could say. But moving on, we're gonna go to Black Mirror season 7. Season 7. I feel like this show just aired not too long ago. Now we have 7 seasons and a movie. I still haven't watched that movie.
Yeah, I had.
And one of these episodes is kind of like a spinoff of that movie, isn't it?
No, it's a spinoff of an episode of a season.
You're not. I'm not thinking of the Star Trek one.
Okay.
There's one that's a spinoff of the movie they did. That was it, Bander something?
Yeah, I knew you're talking.
Bandersnatch or something like that.
Yeah, Vandersnatch or Bandersnatch or something like that.
Yeah, because that guy's in this. in
Oh,
that
okay.
episode.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the episode with Peter Capaldi.
Oh, okay.
Plaything.
There we go. Okay.
I want to say thruple. It's not the thruple. It's the throngs or whatever.
The Throngs. Yeah, Throngs.
I get another solid season though from whoever does. Is there one person with a vision that runs Black Mirror? I figured one of you guys would know this, or is it just collectively people that are?
Well, the main guy is Charlie Brooker.
Okay.
And he's
the creator.
He's like the creator, and I think he writes a majority of the episodes.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at
Created by Charlie Brooker.
And he must really hate tech bros.
Yeah. The one thing about Black Mirror, man, it terrifies me of the future.
Yeah.
It really does. Like some of these episodes are so spot on. And I mean, it's, given the chance that people don't fight back, they're going to fucking do some of this stuff. But
yeah, pretty much the overall argument you get from Black Mirror is just don't trust anybody in tech.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
And I think after all we've seen the past decade, boy, they're right. Don't trust anybody in tech. They're all evil fucks.
They are.
Well,
they really are.
There's the meme that's been around for a while now of like the science fiction book is like, I've created the torment nexus and here's why it's bad. And then like someone like Elon Musk is like, I've created the torment nexus for real. Like, no.
Is there are these on Letterboxd?
Individually, they're on.
They are, yeah. Because I just Mr. PBS posted one. I completely forgot they can do it individually. I always forget that all the time.
I want to see if there's somebody's got a list up of Black Mirror season 7. Gosh, I'm looking here and I don't know if I see it. Rob, did you burp?
I apologize. Yeah.
God damn, you're stinking the place up, dude. Season 74. Okay, somebody's got a list here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, this is it. All right. So, Common People was the first episode, right?
Yep.
All right, let's go to this one. And this one, this had a good cast once again. Chris O'Dowd and Rashada Jones. You may recognize Rashada from Park and Recs and a bunch of other stuff.
The Office.
Yeah. And Chris O'Dowd was at The Office too. Yeah, she was in the season of The Office.
She was, I think one or two, something like
she was in the season where Jim moves
Yeah.
offices and comes back.
and they start dating.
Yeah. She's so hot, dude.
Yeah.
That's Quincy Jones' daughter, right? I think it is.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I think she's Quincy Jones' daughter. Some relation there.
Yeah.
Chris O'Dowd, famously from the IT Crowd and, a couple chick flick movies. But man, it's nice to see him getting some good work again. This one was really good though.
Dark.
What a banger to start the season off with. But his wife has a medical emergency while she's in school, and they call him while he's at work. He's like a welder or whatever. He gets down to the hospital and they're like, it's not good, dude. She's not going to wake up. And then he's like, is there anything we can do? And they're like, well, this sales rep was in here the other day. There's a procedure, but it's like really new. Like no one's ever had it. And basically this tech company says we can clone the broken part of her brain, and we'll cut that part out, and then we'll put the clone in. And
that's
she's
backed up on a server.
Yeah. And she's like, but it works because it runs off of our server. So you can't leave the area until we expand. Then you can go wherever you want. They sell it to them like it's this one-time fix and they'll never have to do anything. So, given anybody who sees their significant others struggling like that, you just want to have them again. He's like, let's fucking do it. It's only $300 a month. They sell it to him. And then they're like, he gets it done, and they're like, she's just gonna have to sleep a little bit longer while the servers are kind of cool down, and gets us a little bit of a break. And they get it done, and it's just one thing after another. This company just changes the terms of services whenever they want, and before you know it, this bitch she's reciting ads off every time she sees something, and it's affecting her job. She might get fired. And then they're like, oh, yeah, that's part of our basic plan. If you want her to stop.
Rivermind Common.
Yeah.
This is Rivermind Plus.
Now, if you don't want her to say ads every time she sees something, just upgrade to River Plus, and then you can take her out of town, and Chris O'Dowd is like, you told us we'd be able to leave once we upgrade it. Like, yeah, when we upgraded it, you have to upgrade too.
That's the new towers.
Yeah. The new towers are only on the Plus service.
And there's a scene where they're driving, and all of a sudden she just goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So then he has to turn around.
That's when they find out that, you need the Plus seat.
Yeah. Left the coverage area.
You need River Plus to go out of town.
Yeah.
That would be scary as hell. You're just driving and somebody just, they're done. You turn around, they're like, what happened?
Yeah. Well, you fucking died for like 10 seconds for some reason.
But that right there, like, just eye-opening. Like, that's the future that they want. They want us all to be enslaved to the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's maybe the most Black Mirror episode of the season.
Yeah.
And I think it's. I meant to make a letterbox list and rank them, but I didn't get around to it. But I think this is probably my favorite episode of the season, just because of the way it is. And it's, again, the first episode of last season, I think, is the Joan is Awful episode.
Yeah, it is.
Where where it comes out that, I don't remember what the company was. I think it was Streamberry is what they call it in this season. I think it was the same in that season, where they start making reality shows out of people's lives.
Yeah.
And it's just funny how much some of these episodes make fun of streaming service, the streaming model, while it's on a streaming service. And it's really just making fun of Netflix. And I always wonder if Netflix knows. I'm sure somebody's
somebody's
smart enough to understand that, but then again, sometimes they're not. And that's what's really sad about this episode, is because it's Black Mirror, you know where it's going before it even gets there.
I think the next time we record, we'll end the show with us ranking this season like we did last time.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're a little strapped for time right now. We're at an hour. But the second episode was great. That was one where it was kind of like a Mandela effect. And then you kind of figure out how the Mandela effect is happening. And
Right.
man, that was so good, dude. That one was pretty like Black Mirror-ish.
Yeah. Nut allergy. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I have a nut allergy. What, are you just making up shit now?
Yeah.
What's a nut allergy?
Yeah.
Why are you saying that together?
Yeah.
Like,
It's Bernie's.
Right.
yeah. That one didn't really have anybody notable in it. That was more or less just not really people you knew.
I think so.
Yeah.
But still, it was really good. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you, like, order these right now, you know, because I think I need to sit on it a little bit.
I think I put it as lower in the season for me, but they're all good episodes this season, I think.
Yeah.
I love the idea that sort of the center of the episode is that this girl who was bullied, maybe not, we're not quite sure through most of the episode, back in high school, is kind of a genius.
Yeah.
And she finds a way to go after these people who spread rumors about her in high school.
It's a parallel universe episode.
And sort of the idea is that this person comes up with a way to live any life they want to live and have any power they want to have. And they spend their time going after people who shit on them in high school.
Yeah.
That's how petty people are.
And you're like,
So,
you kind of realize like if you hit the lottery tomorrow and won $1 million or $100 million, like, could you be happy? And I think my answer is yes.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
yeah.
But there are some people,
and you know, here's the thing, like, I don't, and this is no offense to anybody I've ever went to high school with, but the people that were kind of dickheads growing up, life is kind of taking care of them itself. And I don't think if I ever had any kind of power, I'd need to get back at them or anything like that. Life has a way of working itself out. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't need to do anything shitty to anybody.
Unless you're Mitch McConnell.
Most people do shitty things to themselves, and they create their own problems. So I don't need to do any of that. I mean, I might boast about some things here and there, but, you know, nothing diabolical that needed to be taken.
Insulting him, you fucking peasant.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that.
but
I got to think when you win the lottery, you've got enough problems on your hand at that point.
Yeah.
well, let's just say his name, Elon Musk, is literally, he goes after like people on Twitter and people who say he's a shitty gamer.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, you're the richest man in the world. Can't you find something
And
better
how many
to do?
and how many companies do you have? So you have time to argue with Joe
That's a
Smo?
guy that really he's really in line with that character.
Yeah.
I guess you could say he's like the real life version of that character.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I mean, that's another one that hits, you know, these fucking nerds, man. They're evil.
That's what Tim Dillon said. He said we may find these guys and they're trying to get back at us.
Stop fucking picking on people and they won't do evil shit to you later on in life. Be cool with everybody.
That's what you gotta
man.
do.
It's like that one famous skit years ago with Dane Cook talking about the guy that shoots up the office, and he's like, always give that guy a Snicker.
Yeah.
You know, he's like shooting people up and he's like, thanks for the Snicker. Thanks for the candy.
So you've always been good to me.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's true, man. You always got to be cool with people.
Well, even like, was it Joker? Remember, like that guy came in. He's like, "You have been nice to me." And he just lets him out.
Yeah,
he thought he was gonna kill him.
Yeah, I mean, people remember the shitty things you do to them, one way or the other.
But they do remember the people who are good to them.
Oh yeah.
So
the next one was Black Mirror Hotel Reverie. Sorry,
I'm telling you, that was a Mr. PBS movie.
Yeah, this one was your style all the way.
If not for uncommon or common people being so good, this probably would have been my number one. And like Robzilla said, it's right up my alley.
Would you go in and play in a black and white movie? I know for a fact you would if this existed.
I mean, would I go plan it? Sure. Would I risk getting stuck in one? Maybe not so much.
Yeah, this one had Emma Corrin in it, and
Aquafina.
Issa Rae.
And I was actually more impressed with Aquafina because she wasn't annoying.
Yeah, no, she wasn't annoying. This was a
She's
good role
enjoyable.
for her.
Yeah, really
this was a good
enjoyable.
role. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. It was really fucking sad, but it had a good ending to
Surprisingly.
it. Yeah, surprising ending.
I kept waiting. I'm like, what's going to happen here?
I figured they were going to give her something, but I didn't know it was going to be that extent, you know. But that was cool that they were able to see that it meant that much to this person.
Yeah, I like the commentary on sort of these. Again, it's like if you had AI help you make a movie, and you're basically just replacing one actor actress in the movie.
Yeah,
but sort of the way that an artist puts part of their real self into a character, and even that's sort of, you can't always separate it in a way.
Yeah,
and it's the way, again, some people aren't allowed to show who they really are.
Yeah,
at different times.
It definitely,
in the past.
it definitely touched on that when the one person gets into the
role
behind the code or whatever, and is able to look all the information up on her actor.
Yeah, how many times could you maybe see older actors and actresses who were in the public eye, but they couldn't be who they were because of the way they were?
You see stories like that, and it makes you think of like, how many times did people sacrifice their happiness because it wasn't acceptable?
You hear, oh, somebody was never married, and then you find, oh, they had their live-in, friend who lived with them forever. And you're like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
And it's a good episode, really good episode.
Yeah, definitely a good episode. So the next one is Plaything, and this one had the doctor Peter Capaldi in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically this one starts out with a guy getting arrested for shoplifting, which he tries to shoplift and the guy locks the door on him. I thought that was cool. But you find out he gets arrested on purpose, but they search his home, and it's this giant computer pretty much. Like, I mean, there's just all kinds of equipment hooked into each other, running this massive program. And this one is the spinoff from is it Bandersnatch? Did we figure that out yet?
That's what it is. Yeah. I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, I never watched it. And I think that was more the interactive one as well.
But then you find out the guy gives him this. Well, he doesn't give him. He steals. He brings him in because he's like a coder, right?
Yeah,
for video games or something. And he brings him in and shows him this
young Capaldi.
Yeah, shows him this program that he's written, this game, and it's basically just taking care of these creatures or whatever, that things and they just the throngs, and they just keep reproducing and making noises. And so you come to find out he does acid. When he does acid, he's able to understand them, and they're like demanding that he keeps building more equipment so they can keep expanding and expanding
their CPU power.
Yeah, man, this was a crazy. This might have been like one of my favorite episodes.
Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch. Thank you. Like 10 minutes later.
Sorry.
But yeah, this one was good. Peter Capaldi was great in it. But basically, it's him in an interrogation room the whole episode, and he's just recounting things, and it ends on a bang, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Fucking awesome.
I actually think this is probably my least favorite episode of this.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say for me as well.
I loved it, dude. I was into it.
Even something that's not as good, it's still good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was still fine. It's another one that's kind of talking about AI.
Yeah. I mean, another one that's like effing scary.
Yeah.
Like, you're like that. I could totally see something like that happening.
Yeah.
And they can say all they want about AI has limits and all this stuff. Like, eventually, the more languages that these AI models learn, at some point, it's got to become sentient.
Well, there's been people suggesting, like, what if you took AI, like self-evolving, and inject into the video game No Man's Sky? Because you're going to develop the whole universe, just like in the last episode this season.
Okay, the next one was Eulogy, and this one had
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, man,
dude,
tugging at my damn heartstrings,
dude.
Paul
Giamatti is amazing.
This one was fucking depressing.
It was good though.
It was damn good, is what it was.
Yeah.
God, man, I don't know if I want to have something like that where when somebody dies, they send you something to rehash memories and stuff.
Right.
Like, some things are just meant to be in the past, and especially this episode where he learns that things could have been different, and
he was the problem. Yeah,
he was the problem.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you that we all have our interpretations of how things happen, and sometimes it's not the way things happen, and
Right.
you kind of have to sit back and examine your situation and see, am I doing the right thing here? Like, let's just take a minute to breathe and not get emotional and, do something we're going to regret 50 years down the line.
Right. No, I really like this one. It's maybe my third favorite. When I was watching it, it was almost maybe my favorite in a way. Just because a woman that Paul Giamatti's character dated when he was younger dies. And like you say, they use this program to sort of use photos and music and videos to go into your memories. And you can try to remember them as their funeral remembrance, their eulogy. And as he does this, he sort of slowly discovers that this breakup that he was and maybe still a little is kind of bitter about from years ago.
He's definitely still bitter.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of like like I don't want to think about that or whatever. But the more he gets into it, the more he realizes that he was maybe definitely to blame for some things. And then that part near the end where he realizes maybe it really could have been different if he'd have just taken a little step back. Like that's like that kicks you right in the nuts.
Yeah.
That's like just a thing.
It definitely was a swift kick to the balls at the end.
I've never been like the most passionate person in any of my relationships, but to think that you could be in something like that and you maybe just barely missed it. You barely missed making it work. You're like, damn.
I feel that this episode would have been.
It's a tearjerker.
It would have been like my number one, but it's common people who's like taking it. But man, Paul Giamatti, dude, that man is underrated. I don't care. That guy is phenomenal.
He fucking delivers in every even like when he was the fucking Rhino in that shitty Spider-Man
and he's still delivering.
Like he just gives 110% at whatever the fuck he's doing.
Yeah,
he's so fucking good, man.
I love the movie he's in Sideways.
Oh yeah, you talk quite fondly about Sideways.
Miles, I don't need you going to the dark side. You got your pills.
They really are some like fucking just stuck up motherfuckers that are on some wine, like they are obsessed with wine in that movie.
They're drinking Merlot. I ain't drinking no fucking Merlot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This was the episode that really reminded me why I don't binge Black Mirror episodes.
Yeah.
Because it's just I watched usually I think I watched like 3 episodes one day and 3 the next day. And it's just like like I said, just kicks you in the nuts.
It has a way of just grabbing your emotions.
It does.
Yeah. And I mean, just terrifying you at the same time with some of this shit.
Yeah. Even like I say, some of these episodes have not so happy endings and some have more happy endings. And even the happy endings are like,
that's even like, that's the best you're going to get, out of the happiness of that.
And like, even with the, the Paul Giamatti one, like, it's a not so happy ending, but it's a silver lining because there's some closure in it.
Yeah, exactly. Closure.
All right. So the last one is Black Mirror, USS Callister Into Infinity. And this was, another spinoff of a previous, was it last season?
It's like season 4.
Season 4?
It's further.
A couple seasons ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
I almost had to go back because I almost couldn't remember.
Yeah, dude. That was a great episode too. And,
I had never watched that one. So
everybody
I had to go back and watch that one first.
Everybody kind of reprises their roles in this one. This was the playoff of the Jesse Plemons one. Obviously he's in it. Kristen Milioti's in it again. God, she's so great, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Just nothing but I see nothing but great things for her. And it's not because I think she's a badass woman. I mean, I'm very attracted to her, but she's got some skills when it comes to acting, man. She's great. But another great performance for her. And, obviously this plays off right when the last one ends where Robert Daly dies. But that crew is still alive in his video game. And they're kind of trying to figure out, they're trying to avoid players, but they're trying to get credit so they can run to a certain part of the game where nobody can ever find them.
Right.
And it is just, it's good, man. And it gets into the whole cloning people and kind of making them in a video game without their permission. And
right.
Oh man,
basically freedom of the conscience, basically.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that it's a being at some point, I mean, these obviously they're aware of what they're doing inside the program. So they are sentient and they just want to live. You know, they don't want to deal with people coming in while they're high playing the game and blowing their ship up and killing them, obviously. But this was a really good episode. And for a follow-up episode, it was just that much better.
And they really don't have follow-up episodes.
No, they really don't. They really don't revisit much.
No.
And so this was a very, very good treat. And they kind of gave us closure on, you know, the USS
Somewhat.
Callister crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's, like
somewhat.
you said, that's a best ending you're going to get as of now, unless
Yeah.
they can, expand it.
I don't know if they'll revisit this one. I
don't think they
yeah, I think this was just, their swan song with this story. But man, it was really good. And what's his face?
Jesse
He played
Clemens.
No, who's the other guy that played the other CEO?
Jimmy Simpson.
Jimmy
Is that his name?
Simpson.
Okay.
He is such a good sleazy dirtbag,
He
isn't he?
isn't he? He's fantastic.
Yeah, this is kind of what led me to my comment earlier. In the first Callister episode, Jesse Plemons is really the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's like the coder, like he's the brains behind the game. And then he ends up cloning people who kind of piss him off and treat him like dirt in his modded game.
Like anybody that like looks at him the wrong way, he gets like their fucking DNA. And
Yeah.
He clones them just so he can torture them.
And in that episode, Jimmy Simpson is like the co-creator. He's like the face, the finance guy. And he's not exactly a bad guy in that one. He's not really the focus of it. But in this one, he turns out to be a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he's been that way all along. And again, it's this idea that you can't trust these tech people because they'll just get rich and greedy and treat you like shit and maybe try to kill you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All to save their money.
Who was the one tech guy that died recently? He got, was it shot outside of his house or something? It was somebody with Google, I thought. So it was somebody died recently. There was a shooting or something.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Or maybe he was like an Uber guy or something, but one of those tech CEOs got murdered.
Robzilla's on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, this was a good episode. Probably middle of the pack for me. But like I said, I think they were all decent episodes this season.
Like as far as like themes and stuff, this was definitely like my favorite because it, plays off of Star Trek, obviously, and it was very sci-fi-ish. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's like middle of the pack. It's not my least favorite, but it's there,
Yeah.
It was a nice episode to end the season.
Just a good Black Mirror episode.
Rob was all about
Maybe Mike Lynch, former CEO of Fix, was one of them.
was one of them.
Well, they most recent ones have died recently.
There was one dude that it was on the news. They were like, why would anybody want to kill him? He was like, somebody wanted him dead.
I don't know.
So Rob, what did you think? I mean, where was this in line with you for the season?
That was probably 3.
Probably 3.
Yeah. So Common People, Eulogy, and then
Pushing the number ones, pushing the number 2, maybe 3 for you.
it's a solid 3.
I'm fucking with you. I'm just trying to get you there.
So I would say Common People and Eulogy is like it's hard to top those 2 episodes.
Common People was really good.
Well, it's so good and it's so scary, is what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you get someone fixed and you're good. Oh no, we got to upgrade or else.
Kind of reminded me of what was the movie with where people get like fake hearts and stuff.
Oh, the In Time or whatever it was.
No, it wasn't.
Your Repo Man.
Repo Man, yeah,
with Jude Law,
Jude Law,
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, that was kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah,
like that's our future right in front of us.
You can't make a payment for your heart transplant. Well, we're going to take it.
Because let's face it, eventually they're going to be able to clone organs.
Yeah,
I mean they already know how to do it now. It just hasn't been tested. But eventually, that won't be. Somebody will be like, "There's not enough money in that. We need to do something that needs maintenance every month." And like, you're going to have like a biomechanical heart of some sort and liver, and it's going to get there eventually. It may not be in our lifetime, but somebody will have to deal with that shit.
Right.
But can you imagine that? Like
Rob needs to join Insulin Plus to get the good insulin.
You know what? I'm not joining shit. I'm just going to die.
No, like I just like the way that they kind of weave in these everyday themes, like Common People's talking about subscription services.
Yeah.
And even the USS Callister is kind of talking about like microtransactions and how you need to put money into these games to play them anymore to stay alive.
They're like the ship's just taking a beating from the guy that's what was it, like Metallica fan or something like that.
Yeah.
and they're like, put the credit in so we can get out of here. And they're like, I don't know what that does on the console, but it just gets us out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. I really dug it. Black Mirror just delivers every year. And even the one season, like there was one season, I think that was the one year Miley Cyrus was on.
And Anthony Mackie, Miley Cyrus. But it's like only 2 or 3 episodes, but they're like hour and a half.
It's still good.
I haven't watched it.
It was still good. And I mean, it wasn't the best, but Black Mirror delivers every season that they've had. But definitely check it out if you haven't watched Black Mirror. Hopefully we didn't spoil it too much for you. But it's time for our final segment, and we're going to talk about Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan and Hailee Steinfeld.
What's better than Michael B. Jordan? 2 Michael B. Jordans.
Yeah, 2 Michael B. Jordans. And you know, for those of you that don't know what this is about,
Rob's just glad it wasn't 2 Anthony Mackies.
Right.
I would have never seen that.
Oh, Rob wouldn't have came to the movies
Nope.
with us. He'd be like, one Anthony Mackie is
Anthony Mackie's not getting my money.
But so basically this is like kind of takes place in the
1930s Mississippi.
Jim Crow, Mississippi. You know, 2 twin brothers, they go to work for Al Capone and they come back and you know, obviously to start a better life, but you know, they're still running the gangsta shit. And it's Michael B's characters. He plays twins, and they were wanting to start a little fancy club,
a juke joint.
Yeah,
That's what they're called.
a juke joint. Yes, but you know it turns out that some vampires don't want that to happen. So a lot of people are comparing it to Dusk Till Dawn, and I think that's a little harsh comparison because it's a little different.
It's very superficial.
Yeah.
Vampires at a bar. Okay.
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, that's about it, really.
But in the Defense of Sinners, From Dusk Till Dawn, you know, was a vampire bar hideout or whatever. Right. So people were going in there and not coming out. This one is more or less them trying to keep vampires from coming in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work out too well for them.
Right.
But man, Ryan Coogler once again delivers. And you know, I'm not the biggest like Ryan Coogler fan. I think everything he's done has been decent, but you know, this was really good. And you know, the theme here that people keep going back to is it's an original story. And then you have people going, well, it's not really that original. Dusk Till Dawn, and it's original.
It is.
Yeah, I mean,
just to kind
people
of
are reaching.
Yeah, I think people are just looking to hate on it for whatever reason.
To keep it kind of superficial for the moment, before we get into spoilers and all that. Like before this movie, I would have said Ryan Coogler's okay. He's made some good movies. I still haven't seen Fruitvale Station, which I know you guys have.
Yeah, it's good. Really good. Yeah.
But like, if you just said Black Panther, like, okay, Black Panther's good. It's a Marvel movie. Creed was good. I didn't see Wakanda Forever. I think everybody kind of agrees that's his weakest, just because of kind of what he had to deal with. To make that movie. And even maybe I watched the first trailer for Sinners and I knew I was interested, and I've kind of avoided it since then. I'm like, okay, it'll be all right. But then when the reviews started coming out, it was getting a lot of hype. And that's kind of when we talked about it on the last episode, like, oh, we should probably look into this because it's kind of this week or whatever. And I have to say, like, I'm excited for whatever Ryan Coogler does next, because he made like, this is a movie. Like, I told somebody, like, this is like Spielberg type movie making. Like, this is a guy who not only knows how to make the movie like look the way he wants, but he wrote a movie that's sort of this action horror movie, but he's also got a lot going on underneath that in dealing with, like, you know, the racism at the time.
Absolutely.
And he's not like heavy handed about it. Like, everything fits into the movie, plays into the movie. And it doesn't have to hit you over the head with being like, racism in the South. Like, it's like, we get it. Like, it's all kind of,
we know.
Yeah.
We know.
And there's nothing, you know, some people will undoubtedly call this movie, it's woke. And it's not like Ryan Coogler's not spending the whole movie being like, white people, you suck. White
Right.
people are bad.
No, it's you definitely don't get that vibe from it.
And there's a great moment later in the movie after they set up the juke joint where the vampires they're all white people.
Irish white people.
Irish.
Well,
The one
one
guy
is
is.
the
the
main-
main guy, Rennick.
Yeah, Remick.
He's Irish. The other are people from Mississippi, I assume, are white, and they're kind of like they want to come in the club to play, and they're kind of like, well, we really shouldn't let them in here, not because they'll cause trouble or anything, but if something happens to them, it'll be, oh, look what happened to the white people
Yeah.
in the black club.
We fucked them over for letting them in here.
Purposely, accidentally,
Yeah.
And like I say, I think that's kind of how he handles a lot of that in this. He doesn't have to beat you over the head with anything for you to understand if you're paying any kind of attention.
Just
to
those subtle
what he's trying to get.
reminders of what they're dealing.
And
The
at that time, what was
circumstances
going
are.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest issue with this movie is it has a pacing issue for me. Like that first part of the movie just seemed like it was forever. And I was just like, can we just get to the fucking vampires already? I just want to see some gore here, like give me the horror aspect of this movie. But I still think it was a well-written movie. I still think the production is A1 top notch. And I love that Ryan Coogler got with Christopher Nolan, and Christopher Nolan was encouraging him to shoot on 77mm film and to really take advantage of the IMAX filming process. And that was another thing after watching it, going back and seeing the artistry that they really put in with changing the formats and different things. Like they really, there's just so much work that went into this movie, and it's kind of sad that it's not doing a lot more sales at the movie at the box office. But I just, I loved it, man.
I think it's going up. I
feel like it is going up now,
but
yeah.
I think it's done for though, like because you've got that 2-week span in movie theaters.
What comes out next week?
Well, yeah, the Thunderbolts
There you go.
and The Accountant 2 came out this week.
Yeah.
So really, hopefully there's that group of people that's kind of waiting to see it until the crowds die down. But there was, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, the IMAX is sold out. The IMAX is sold out. I'm waiting to get in and see it." So hopefully that's the case with this, and people are just waiting to see it on IMAX. But man, it's such a good movie to see on the big screen, and great performances. From there's all kinds of people you recognize in this, that are kind of past their prime, I guess you would say. But man, they shine in the moments that they're given, and very entertaining movie. And it's nice to see an original horror movie for once, and an original movie. Like this is what going to the movies is all about.
Yeah, this is a movie.
Yeah.
Before Robzilla brings up the cinematography, which we know he will, her name is Autumn Archipel, which I think she married an Australian guy, so that's his last name. She's the cinematographer on this film. I believe she's the first woman to shoot on IMAX.
Oh wow,
And
really?
That's sort of a big deal. And pacing is subjective, and I'm gonna disagree about your pacing issue. But what I will say is, this movie is packed with like great scenes.
Yeah,
and there's actually so many that I think you could cut some. And I don't want to say the movie wouldn't be as good, but it wouldn't lose anything in a way, because I could see you cutting stuff out and not losing stuff, but in a way the stuff you'd have to cut was good. So I can see why they didn't cut it. For instance, maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie, and others have started talking about the scene, it's where Delroy Lindo, Delta Slim, is in the car with Michael B. Jordan and what's the other guy's name? Canton. It's his first acting role. And it's just Delroy Lindo. They go by these the chain gang on the side of the road. And Delroy Lindo starts telling the story about, I think it was him and another guy found some money, stole some money or whatever. And, Delroy Lindo's just going to go drink it away or whatever. But his friend is going to take the money and like go start a church or something. And on the way, like the cops basically, or somebody, a cop or someone finds him and finds he's got all this money on him. And so they basically end up lynching the guy. And as the character says, like they cut off his manhood. And the scene is just Delroy Lindo telling the story to these two. And you can kind of like hear the sounds of the other story that he's telling. And you could cut that scene because in a way it doesn't add anything like immediate to the story other than sort of the background of the racial stuff we're talking about. But it's like my favorite scene in the movie, and you probably could cut it like if you really, 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 really had to. And it's the same with the scene where we see Rennick for the first time and he's being chased by the Choctaw.
Yeah.
Like you could cut that, I suppose, and just have them show up later as vampires. And I don't think you'd necessarily lose anything. But that scene is just so good and it's so fun. And everybody's like, oh, I wanted more of them. And I'm glad there wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I like they just show up, they're chasing the guy, and they're like, you shouldn't let him in there.
They're smart. They're like, hey, night's coming.
If you got him in there, you shouldn't let him in.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
And then the one dude's like, hey, sun's going down. The other guy takes a look around. And he's like, all right, we're out.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if that's like the most accurate thing, like, okay, we can't beat this dude in
I really, that was, I really wish they would have had them come back later on in the movie.
Like show up.
But I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest complaint. Like, I really felt like the movie was a little longer than it needed to be. And there's a good 15 minutes they could have shaved out of it.
I'd say 10 to 15.
But yeah.
Well, I think, like I said, you could have lost those scenes and not exactly lost anything from the movie, but you kind of would have.
But then again, like the movie it comes full circle at the end. And, it is what it is. Like, yeah, I was a little, I wouldn't say annoyed, but just ready for the movie to get going as far as what they advertised it to be. But, once it came full circle, I was okay with everything. But I still maintain like it could have lost 15 minutes and been a great movie and maybe a little bit better. But I know some people were really kind of I talked to a couple people on TikTok and they were like, yeah, I was just talking about the pacing. And so maybe it's just, something that, the average movie folks see, they're like, I just need to get right into it.
I love the build up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's well worth it with the build up at least. And usually with something like that, I'm kind of like, I'm not as interested, but there's so much depth to the characters and you kind of forget about it and you enjoy it more. So it's not much to gripe, but
it was nice to see Delroy Lindo in something again.
I didn't even know he was
amazing.
in it.
Yeah, I didn't know he was in it either. And then Omar Benson Miller, he was in it too. I haven't seen him forever, it feels like. Well, I did. He was on that show with The Rock, the football show.
Ballers, was it?
Yeah, Ballers. Yeah. But man, this was a great movie. And like, if you haven't seen it in the theater, you got to go see it in the theater. We got to get away from this. Like, there's this group of people that don't want to go to the theater ever again. And it's like
chicken jockey.
Yeah.
That's why, because you fucks.
Yeah, and that is a big problem. And
yes, I'm talking to the 8-9-year-olds who can't calm themselves the fuck down.
But when we went to the movie theater, they had security guards in there for that shit, and they're tired of playing with that. So, which is how it should be. We've talked about here on the past before, where remember back in the day when the usher used to be on your ass. So
that flashlight, what the fuck you doing?
That needs to come back in. And if you don't want to behave, get up and leave.
I'll gladly pay more money for a ticket if they start doing that.
The movies are just too expensive to deal with that shit in general. But man,
you got a vape pen there, buddy? Stand up real quick.
Get out.
Get the fuck out.
So I gave this a 4.0, and there's a 5-star movie in here somewhere, and for me, the pacing kind of dropped it down a half star, but. I just feel like that, this could have been a 5-star movie with a couple of things switched around or just a different approach with certain things. But I mean, it's a good movie. it's a really good movie, and 5 stars don't come along very often, so it is what it is there.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a good movie to go to the theaters and watch. And like I said earlier, this is what the movies is all about. The sound, and I mean, just everything was great. And we didn't even touch on the music aspect of this movie.
If you're a music fan, you'll love
If
this.
you love the blues and folk music, you are going to be entertained like you've never been entertained. Like, there is a huge musical piece in this movie, and it pretty much goes through like all the generations of music, and it is phenomenal.
Well, that's an aspect, like you said, we haven't really talked about that. Like Sammy, Preacher Boy, as they call him, has a way with music, and that's kind of why the vampires are after him at a certain point, is because they talk about with them and like the Native Americans and stuff, that certain people have a way with music, and it almost allows them to sort of time travel in a sense.
Yeah.
That, because that's how music is. Music kind of grows on itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really cool aspect. They say a lot of people talk about that one sequence in the film where he finally kind of really gets up to sing in the juke joint, and it kind of goes through this little musical journey.
Yeah,
not just of them, but the Asian characters as well. And it goes from like him singing the blues into sort of like rock and funk and all that. And it's a really great scene.
Literally goes through decades of music. So
it's sort of how it brings all the characters together.
I really feel like there's something for everybody in this movie.
Right.
And there's redeeming qualities all over this film. And that's something that you don't find very often in movies, like where there's all kinds of redeeming qualities. And normally there's, an average movie kind of has a couple themes that are redeeming or whatever, but this just all over the place had redeeming qualities. And I mean, the direction, the cinematography, the choreography that they go through. Like, I was reading something where they only had so many days to shoot that, and it was in the heat because they're filming down there in the heat, and they didn't have a margin of error that they could afford. So they had to rehearse this for months, and then when it got to filming, they had to do it, all in key, all set up. So I mean, hats off to them. And I mean, Michael B. Jordan playing those two brothers and doing the whole, like, I don't even want to know how they do it.
They said that was the most complicated scene of the whole thing to shoot, was him passing a cigarette to himself.
Yeah. I mean, just insanely. I mean, just you talk about artistry, and
it looks so easy.
Yeah. It looks so easy, and it's not. But hats off to Ryan Coogler. Like, this is an accomplishment like no other for a filmmaker. I mean, that's all you can say about it. I mean, the movie's phenomenal. And honestly, like, when I rewatch this, when it comes out at home, I already pre-ordered my my Blu-ray. Groove.com had some kind of deal where if you pre-ordered it, you got like 10 or 15% off or something like that. So I went ahead and did that. I got the steelbook they were offering.
Yeah, I'm still hoping to go back and see it in the theater at least one more time. Just the show times haven't quite lined up for me this last week, and I'm going to buy it when it comes out as well.
Yeah,
like I said, this is like, for me, like Spielberg territory. Like that's like the highest thing you can say to me
is
as like a popular film director. Like, it's hard to beat Steven Spielberg in the last 50 years.
And that's the thing. Like, they always say, like, who's the next Spielberg? Could it be Coogler?
Like I say,
he's close.
And with this movie,
I haven't been super into his career up to this point, even though it's been well regarded for the most part. But he did something with this movie. He wrote it as well as directing it.
It's like his passion project, basically.
Yeah. And he retains ownership of it in 20 years, which was sort of, he said it's not such a big deal because other directors have done it before, but a lot of other people say it is kind of a big deal. And like I say, I think
IMAX 70 millimeter, or is it 77 millimeter?
70. It should be 70.
70. Okay.
Yeah. And there's only, again, he did a whole video talking about the different ways this was filmed and how you should see it. And there's only like 10 70 millimeter IMAX theaters in like the whole country or something like that. So you probably can't see it that way.
I saw a picture from the projectionist window.
Yeah.
And the 70 millimeter just looks so freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we watched it on the ultra screen. So I'm not it's not the 70 millimeter.
It's not that big, but it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. And like, if you're going to go see this movie, you got to go see it in IMAX.
Yeah, you should really try to see it on the biggest screen you can.
And they did say that the Blu-ray and the is there another one? It's Blu-ray still, or
it's the Blu-ray and the 4K.
The 4K, yeah,
the
4K is what I'm thinking. But they did say that it will have the adjusting format,
changing aspect ratio.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. But so the movie on Letterboxd has an average ranking of 4.3, so you know it's excellent if it's got that average. I gave it a 4. What'd you give it, Robzilla?
4.
What'd you give it?
I'm still on 4. I will almost guarantee you on a rewatch it'll be a 4.5.
I think when I rewatch it at home in my surroundings, and there isn't a generic white guy next to Rob dancing, or it was next to you.
Yeah.
Him.
Is next to you. I look over and this guy's got his popcorn. He's like dancing in his seat. I'm like, damn, dude,
Luckily,
you're really
I didn't notice him too much. Like I say, this will almost definitely be a 4.5 on a rewatch.
But I mean, most of my friends on Letterboxd rank this a 4.5 or a 5.
I mean, like I say, it's at least a 4, and it probably higher.
And I think once I give it a rewatch in, the privacy of my home and in my sound system and all that, I'll probably go up a notch on it. But
it's hard. It's hard for me to even give a new movie a 4. Like, for me, that's pretty high praise.
Yeah,
it really is.
And to go over that, there's I'd have to check, but I'd bet that in the last 20 years worth of movies, I haven't given too many more a 4 or above. I could tell you 2 off the top of my head are Interstellar and Fury Road, probably. And this is up there. This is going to be like, this is maybe in a way my favorite movie since those 2 came out.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's just Coogler nailed it. Everybody nailed it.
Yeah. And that's another thing that, like, there's so much collaboration on this movie. When you start hearing about the things that, they had to do, and how much of a fan Ryan Coogler is of Christopher Nolan's work that inspired him in this, as far as shooting,
And you listen to interviews or read some, like he talks about John Carpenter being an influence, and there's a scene that's obviously very influential from a Carpenter that's in here. But he talks about, again, Robert Rodriguez. He talks about The Faculty, well as From Dusk Till Dawn.
And that was another thing. They were like, well, it's such a knockoff of From Dusk Till Dawn. And he openly admits, like, yeah, Robert Rodriguez is a huge influence on this film.
And again, it's very superficial.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who kind of sticks to that talking point too much is bad faith of their person. They're
I don't feel like they're appreciative of every aspect that goes into the movie. You know what I mean?
Well, there was one creator that, like, everybody on TikTok was kind of dunking on. He's like, what happened to the Latino people? And, there are some Latino vampires in From Dusk Till Dawn, but it's mainly, white characters. It's George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino and Harvey Keitel.
From Dusk Till Dawn takes place in Mexico or whatever. Like, so, I mean, it is what it is.
And it's like almost like an Aztec temple.
Yeah. It totally, that's apples and oranges. I mean,
everybody was, I think, rightfully dunking on that guy.
Yeah.
And, even me as like a white person, I'm kind of like, boy, I wish there was one, like, not even good white person in the movie, but like one kind of neutral white person. Because every white person in the movie kind of ends up being a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I have to tell myself, like, that's not the story here.
Yeah.
This is a story about these people in this place at this time, which means it's mostly going to be black people. There's a couple Asian actors who fit in. And I've learned that, like, that's actually like a thing. There's like documentaries about like the Chinese people in the Mississippi Delta at this time, which I want to watch some of those documentaries and learn more about that.
They were grocers down there.
Yeah, they're like the bridge between the whites and blacks, because they didn't really fit either community.
Obviously.
And so, like I said, it's a movie that entertains me, and I don't have to go any further, but it encourages me, like, oh, I want to know more. I don't have to know more, but I want to know more to sort of further learn things. And again, nothing hits you over the head. I don't think.
No.
In this movie, he just plays it. If you want to view it as just a popular movie, it's just a popular movie that you can go watch. And if you want to sort of dig into it, you can dig into it as well. And I think that's so rare. It's just hard to do.
Yeah. Well, you heard it from us. We are stamping the 4 stars on this movie. And, go to the fucking movies and watch it. If you don't watch these movies, they're not going to keep making them.
It's well worth the $1.
Yeah. So, pay the money, go see it on the big screen. And hopefully you have just as good of an experience as we all did.
Be ready for some horniness. I was not prepared for the horniness in this movie.
I'm waiting on the Hailee Steinfeld memes that come out of this where she's drilling in old dude's mouth.
The TikToks recently have been killing it.
Spoiler alert, but if you're going to go out, it's Hailee Steinfeld riding you, drilling in your mouth. That's the way to go, brother.
You want a taste? Yeah. My response to will be the same way as Smoke said it.
You can rob all these
So, I'm
people
sorry,
in
stats.
banks, but you can't steal this pussy for the night.
Great line. Great line.
Great line.
Like I
Might be one of the best lines written in movies in years.
I mentioned it already. The Delta Slim scene where he's just talking in the car. It's maybe my favorite scene, but by the end of the movie, I'd almost forgotten about it because everything else was just so good that I had to be. Somebody else made a video about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that scene is great.
I can't wait for Ryan Coogler to tackle the X-Files too.
Yep,
that's the rumor.
Yeah. Well, he already said
it.
Yeah, he already said he was like, I kind of got away from it because I had all these projects lined up, but he was like, now that this is out of the way, like X-Files is on my list now.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
know
that's
everybody's
number 1.
already talking about like sequels they want, and I really kind of don't want any sequels to this. But
yeah,
I don't want any sequels.
If there was one I wanted, it would be. I mentioned it episodes ago. There's a bunch of short stories about a character called John the Balladeer, Silver John, and he goes through like Appalachian, the Carolinas, and he plays his guitar and he sings and he kind of deals with these like folklore and myth kind of characters. Now, if you told me you were going to do a movie or two about young Sammy like turning into like a master blues musician, and at the same time kind of dealing with these racial issues and like this folklore stuff, I'd be into that.
Yeah,
I want one on the was it the Choctaw?
Yeah.
Like I want one on them hunting vampires down.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of
that would be fucking great. A little series of that.
Well, I've seen like a lot of people saying they would like to have that. They would have like a prequel where, the twins, they're in war, and then you see what they do in Chicago with Capone. I mean, at least you're able to set up that because how it's so well built, you can go that way, but I'm happy with what it is.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the idea that I don't want to know any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's there, but I don't want to. I just want to let it.
It's a great
rest.
story.
I want it to rest in my imagination.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's a great story. Just let it rest where it is. And if 10, 15 years down the line, they want to do a series like Dusk Till Dawn did, like that's cool. Okay, whatever. But all right. So that's all we have for you for this episode of the Sleazy Podcast. As always, make sure you're liking the YouTube videos and subscribing. That helps us out in the algorithm. Same goes for TikTok. Like the videos and, let us know your opinion. Like if you're watching this on YouTube or even listening to it, like go comment on the, where we share these episodes and let us, know how you feel. If you agree, disagree, or what you liked about the movies. We love conversations and, we'll definitely bring it up in future episodes, when you comment on it.
Sleazy and I will definitely respond. Rob, not so much.
Yeah, Rob, not so much. He might every once in a while, or he'll put like some random sentence, and you'll be like, "What is he talking about?"
If we prod him hard enough, he'll interact sometimes.
Yeah. But like I said, that's all we have for you, and that's the call to action is always rolled in the same thing. Share the show, like, subscribe, comment, just do the normal things, and that helps us grow, and we appreciate it. So. As always, keep it sleazy.
Thanks for listening to the Sleazy Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and remember, listen to Sleazy.